Okay folks, we've got 3 cut out, and that's actually one side, one case. I'm gonna go ahead and stack them up here and I'll show you what they look like. As you can see, this one's got extra pieces on it. This is for my motor mounts that'll be drilled through. On an old bike like this, it'll have a loop style frame, and we'll design and build the frame to match the engine case. So anyway, and I'm not a good woodworker, remember that. So, but I can sand, and I will get it right. It'll just take a little time. But that's basically before sanding and everything. That's one side of the engine case, and we're going to use this as patterns to go ahead and mark the other 3 out, and then we can get this glued up, and then we'll start working with it. And I think we'll get it here real soon. I'll show you a couple other foundry patterns here. These are old wooden ones here. I casted a puller one time, and that's what that is. And you can see it's angled to make it where we could, you know, get it back out of the sand. But that's just no. I'm sure you've seen them, a 2-bolt fuller, and you just drill the hole and tap it in the center. But done it in aluminum. And here is part of a pipe wrench that I done, and years and years back, and I think I lost part of one or something, or I had one that was broke, and I made another one for it. And that was before. That's when I had more time than I had money. Does that make sense? But and then a lot of little pieces, you know, when you need a little bracket, and I don't know what that was for, but that's wood, and just use this to cast apart. Anyway, you get the idea. This is a little bit more intricate than, you know, these other pieces, but we're gonna keep at it. I'm gonna get this glued up after I draw my patterns out, and then at least I'll have one I'll be able to start on, and we'll cut the other ones out and get them all together. And then once we start machining and getting our bearing bracket in here, whatever you want to call it, the extra meat there for the bearing, once we get it in and start doing everything else, rounding these off, it'll actually start looking more like a good engine case, like it, you know, like it's supposed to look. And then hopefully we can get something cast out of aluminum pretty soon. All right. Okay, we've got it glued up here, and they say 30 minutes before you can take it apart, but I'm gonna 24 hours to cure, so I'm gonna let her sit until tomorrow. And of course I don't have any wood clamps, so these are regular old C clamps. But you can see I got my other patterns drawn out, and I put pulley side on all these. I'm going to stack each one of them facing up, and that way the patterns will meet together. You know, I'm not a mold maker, and I'm not a woodworker at all, but you know, you can't let that stop you from doing something just because you know, you wasn't trained at it, or you don't do it, you know, because I, you know, of course never learned anything about any kind of woodwork, but you know, if you let that stop you, you're never going to get anything done. So you just jump in there and do it, even if it's not right. And I don't suggest putting it on video for people to see that know what they're doing, because they'll probably laugh at you, but I don't mind. You know, it has nothing to do with what you do. It's the end product. And, you know, same way with plowing a field with a tractor. When you plow a field with a tractor, you can't go back and look at the field and tell what kind of tractor you used. You know, was it an old rusty, you know, Fordson tractor, or was it a brand new John Deere? You know, that's one of the things. Getting the job done is the important part. So anyway, I'm going to call it a night here, and it's another late night. You know, like I said, I'm just doing this out here in the shop at night. So show you more tomorrow. Okay folks, here's one side of our pattern. I've let this thing sit overnight. Started doing a little bit of playing with it here, sanding, but it's going to turn out really good. Even though my woodwork sucks. It's I still think I can work with it. But one side of the case, we're going to get the other side cut out, and like I said, we're going to actually use the Bridgeport. We're going to bring all this down 1/4 inch, except for around where I want the bearing and up here. And I may glue another piece on, or I may not. I don't know. I'll probably end up having to glue another piece on up here and bring this out a little bit wider, because we're fine the way it is. But once we machine it off, after we get the cases poured, the width up top is not going to be wide enough for what we've got mounting, which is the top's not going to be wide enough up there for our flange on the bottom of our cylinder. And you know, we don't want the flange hanging off the side. It won't look very good. So we'll do that, and then we'll get this taken care of. And I do have a ball mill. If I can get this set up on the rotary table, I can go around it. That's for that Bridgeport Easy Track. If I knew how to program it, I could just program it in, and it'll do a circle, but I don't know how to program it. So that's just the way it is. But anyway, thank goodness you can use it as a manual mill, because that's what I've been doing. I've been using it for manual mill, but using the digital readout. So no more money than I got in it. I couldn't buy a Bridgeport with a digital readout any cheaper than I bought this thing. So I'm good to go with it. So maybe one of these days I'll learn how to program it. But all right, we're going to get back at it. Okay, folks, we're over here at the Bridgeport, and I think what I'm going to do, you can see my bump up. So everything else is going to come down except a little section at the top up here. And I got a ball mill. We're going to try to set it up and run around it. I figured I'd put it in that, because like I said, I don't know how to program this machine. I'm just going to set it up in the rotary. Well, it's not a rotary table. I guess it's like a rotary table, but it's got it moves also. So I'd say just a cheap Chinese rotary table, but I'm not sure if they've got a different name for them or not. But anyway, so but I can still use my screen for digital readout. I think everything's right on this thing. I bought this and the keyboard didn't work, but I've actually got a regular keyboard plugged into it and it seems to work. And so everything seems to be working okay on it, but you know, like I said, I just don't know how to operate it. And so we're gonna get this mounted down. I'm gonna try to get this in it, and then we'll find center, go off, and go ahead and get that milled out. I think I'm gonna drop this down probably about half the thickness, so probably 3/8 of an inch. I think is what I'm gonna bring it down. Now I really need to take some off. Our inside here, this is 1.5 inches. Now I only need 1.25 inches on both pieces. I may leave it and just hold off on that. Machine it off of the crankcase. You know, that's kind of thick to be pouring, but I think we'll try it anyway. But I got a lot to do here. I've got the other one glued up, drying, so we'll go ahead and see what we can do with this. Hopefully that ball mill will do okay on this wood. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, folks, here's what I've done. I've got my rotary table on, and I took and went ahead and bolted a piece of wood down with, you know, the T-slot bolts, and then we're going to actually put this on there. We're going to pre-drill a couple holes and put a couple of screws in it to hold it in place, hold it down, and we'll go ahead and get this done with our ball mill. And once that's done, we can use the digital readout. We're going to go down 3/8 on this, which is half the thickness. We'll go around it, and then we'll put our tube fluted back in, our 5/8, and we'll go ahead and do the surface. Like I said, I'm going to leave a section up at the top, and that's actually going to be for that cylinder to come out and around. We may add to it, so we'll leave a decent little piece. We'll figure it out as we go. I got this part done. Oh, pretty good. It'll sand out good. Now I'm gonna take it off this rotary table, mount this board directly to the table, and then screw this back down. That way I can go ahead and get it good and solid. And we'll go ahead and mill all that off, and like I said, leave a little bit up here. All right, show you more. Okay, we're just about done with this part anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and round over this and this with the ball mill. And like I said, we're gonna probably add another piece here, and then maybe we'll round it off, make it look good. Try to anyway. But that's where we're at now. And I'm probably gonna add some bracing in here. I've got some 1/4 inch square that I'll put from here to here, glue it in, and then I'll actually file it at an angle. And you can see my hands are dirty, and I'm doing woodwork, so who knows? I can't stay clean. I don't know what it is. Anyway, we're gonna keep at this and see if we can get her knocked out, and I will show you more. Okay, we got a lot of the machining done on that, and hopefully you can see it's rounded over in there, and worked out pretty good. I think on this, by the time I'm done, this will probably get shaved down, and then I'll have another piece on it and it'll round, and we'll try to get the circumference on it about the same as this is. The way it'll look decent when it's done, and we'll have to do them both that way, of course, the other half too. But this gives you an idea of the motor, of the size and all. Of course, this is going to sit down inside, you know, but it gives you an idea. It's going to look like an original, and I'll show you what I plan on doing on the bracing. Okay, and here's my other half. I really haven't done anything to it but glue it up. Got to get started on it. I'm going to actually do it sort of like what we've done here, except it's going to be bigger and come out, and then we'll have a place for the cams. We'll leave it thick because we're going to have to drill it and pin it, and for a shaft, and then we'll have a head plate on the outside that holds the other side of the shaft. So we'll do, you know, a place for 2 gears. We can go a little oversized, you know, it's not a big deal. And I don't know if I'm going to build the walls up here, or if I'm going to just bolt a plate to it. I hadn't figured it out yet, but anyway, we'll get all that figured out as we go. That's one thing about it, I don't design anything. I just do it as I go and figure it out. Here is our 1/4 inch, and I picked it up too. And I think I'm going to run some short pieces, like maybe there, or maybe just a, you know, across, maybe one there, one here, and then one on each other side there, and down here, and that'll just exit in. Now this is still 3/8 thick, which is pretty good, pretty thick for aluminum. So it's probably plenty strong enough anyway, especially we're using pistons, you know, which is an alloy. But it won't hurt. It'll look a little bit better, I think, anyway. And I may decide not to do it. Well, you know, we'll go from there. But you know, if we do it, we'll have to spread a little Bondo on the corner so it's got a relief like we, you know, did on our round over here. And I've got some more, you know, quite a bit more sanding to do. I've got all the sides to do yet, and you know, I'll round over the edges of it all the way around, you know, a little bit anyway. And you know, it's going to look hand done no matter what. So, and that's the way it's supposed to look. Okay, I was trying to figure out what we needed to do up here. It's kind of bothering me. And what I ended up doing was I measured this cylinder, the widest spot, and it's actually 4 1/4. So I split 4 1/4 in half, 2 1/8, and this is actually where this will get machined to. 1/4 inch of it will come off. That'll give us our 1 1/4 on the inside of it. So what I did was I measured from here to where the outside of that cylinder is, you know, should be when we're done. And it looks like it's only about an 1/8 inch past here, which I almost messed up because I had cut this piece out to put on there. And it, you know, I had to glue it on and sand it and all, but it wouldn't have been right at all. So what I'm going to do, I'll probably put a thin piece on here, and then I'll probably shave these corners down and make it rounded, and we'll do both of them the same and make it look a lot better. and I'm still, you know, hadn't done any of this yet. And luckily, we got power tools. We can use a Dremel and stuff on it, and we'll get it all right. But we're slowly getting there. Starting to look like an engine case, but hadn't decided what I'm going to do on my supports yet. But I may not run them. I don't know. You know, 3/8 thick is, you know, really heavy, and probably heavier, you know, in comparison to most of them. So we'll see how it does. Of course, here's our other half. So we'll get it all together and everything. We'll get it all lined up and stuff. I wish I'd have had a little better, well, not necessarily a better way of cutting them. I wish I would have done a better job cutting them. I'm just no good with that little jigsaw, and I probably should have bought a blade for the bandsaw. But it's okay. Hey, you know, that's just that much more work that I've got to do. But you know, files take that stuff off quick. All right, appreciate everybody watching. Till next time. Bye.